Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping back by. Happy Fibro Friday. My apologies for not being here on Wednesday. I had every intention of being here and doing a video, but there was a little bit of an issue where I was staying in my hotel. The sound wasn't great, and I do have now microphones. However, I forgot to bring them with me. So I was not able to film the way I would have preferred, even though I did do a Monday video. So now I'm back, of course, as you can see, in my regular setting at home, and we can get right into this video. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. And no matter whether you're new or not, do something kind for yourself, especially leading into this holiday weekend. You're going to need it, especially if you're on the East Coast as well. The weather's going to be bad. Stay warm, stay inside, stay safe, and take care of yourselves always. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the schedule on an average week. That's how it goes. Monday and Wednesday can be about anything, and Friday is always about fibromyalgia. Look at some of the other videos. If any of those topics interest you, just know I talk about them frequently. You might want to consider subscribing and hitting the bell so that you know when the videos go live. Today, we're talking about Nervine herbs. I'm using just one resource for it. The reason why I wanted to talk about Nervine herbs is because this is a nervy time of year. My favorite time of year, not even for the Christmas holiday or anything. I love New Year. The New Year, the turning of the clocks, and starting opening your fresh calendars, fresh planners. That is my thing. I love, love, love cracking the seal on a new planner. So New Year is my favorite day of the year, every single year, even more than my own birthday. That being said, that being said, uh, this can still be a very nervy time of year. The days are shorter. As I film this, I'm filming it on the solstice, so the shortest day of the year. So you've got these colder days, you've got these darker days, and it's a lot. It can make you feel a little anxious. It can, and especially if you're someone who puts a lot of expectation on yourself as well, it can be a lot. So I'm going to just name some Nervine herbs. This is not medical advice at all. This is not to be, you know, a replacement for anything that a licensed medical professional would advise for you. But these are things that you might want to take to your doctor and discuss to see if they're good supplements to add into your routine. Most of these herbs, in fact, all of them that I'm going to mention, can be drank as teas. But again, you want to clear it with your doctor first to make sure that your specific body can handle this. So, the herbs I'm mentioning, I'm not going to mention every Nervine herb that is listed in the book, but I will list my favorites that I've used. The book is The Woman's Herbal Apothecary by J.J. Purcell. And even if you are male, you still may find some benefit in the Nervine herbs because there are some herbs that function differently based on sex. Some herbs work better in female bodies than male bodies, or vice versa. Nervines generally don't fall into that category. The reason why we want to know about nervines specifically as people who are interested in fibromyalgia related issues is because nervines, sorry, nose itches, nervines in particular are very good for influencing the nervous system to calm down normally. And what usually happens is with fibromyalgia, your nervous system tends to be overactive. It tends to get signals kind of crossed and have all kinds of issues because the nerves are super responsive instead of being more regulated. So we're going to talk about Nervine herbs. My favorite Nervine, and I'm going to flip to it because I like to read. I don't know why my nose decided to itch as soon as I start filming. It never fails. My favorite Nervine herb that is mentioned in this book is oatstraw. I like oatstraw because it is the top of oats. So, you think about oatmeal. This is the part of the oat that's left over after other things have been harvested. I said the top. That's the milky tops are the top of the oat straw, but what's left over after the actual oats are harvested is oat straw. I love oat straw because it is nutritious. It's great for your body if you're having issues with calcium and magnesium. Magnesium deficiencies, specifically in people with fibromyalgia, can accentuate pain. If you are someone who's experiencing a lot of pain, one of the first things I say is see if your magnesium levels are where they need to be, and if not, get them there, because that can give you a good deal of relief. But oatstraw is good for working along with calcium and magnesium as well. It mentions here in the book, it's a nervine, it's a tonic, an antispasmodic, and a demulcent. So it works on those things. Of course, antispasmodic means it prevents cramping. Of course, Nervine means it works on the nervous system. Tonic, I forget, like I know how it works, but I want to give you a good explanation using the description in here. A tonic is an herb that strengthens and enlivens specific organs or the whole body. When I think of tonics, specifically, I think of liver action, but it doesn't have to be just on the liver. Tonic, like it says, can be any particular organ system. So, or organ or system. So it's nervine, tonic, antispasmodic, and demulcent. Demulcent means, I believe it has to do with like giving you like, I don't want to say the word that I'm thinking. I'm thinking mucus. Yes, and that's what it says. Herbs usually rich in mucilage that can soothe and protect irritated or inflamed internal tissue, particularly mucous membrane. That's what I was thinking. Demulcents work with mucus. So anyway, that is what oat straw can do. That is really good for this time of year, especially when you think of how dry the air can be. Anything that can soothe inflamed mucous membrane tissue, which can tend to get really battered during the season, is always a good idea. As well as all the other benefits. If you're someone that experiences a lot of cramping, again, magnesium is something you want to explore, see if it's something that you might be deficient in, and that might be the root of the cramping. But certainly, if your magnesium is fine, if this can help with that, then it's a good idea. So, like I mentioned, the first herb that I like to use as far as a nervine for myself, not telling you got to do this, is oat straw. Oat straw is also very gentle, which is really, really nice if you have a system that feels like it can't take anything too strong. Oat straw is great because if you can tolerate oatmeal, you can tolerate oat straw as a general rule. The next one is passion flower. I've only used passion flower once, but I like what the potential is with passion flower because listen to the features. Nervine, sedative, antispasmodic. So you're working on the nervous system, you're putting me to sleep, and you're taking care of cramps. Sounds great. It also mentions that passion flower is good for relieving acute stress as well as deficiencies that come out of long-term stress. And if you've been dealing with fibromyalgia for a period of time, long-term stress is probably an accurate way of describing your current state. So that's a good idea to check out any of these herbs. Like I said, consult your doctor as well, but just know that those are two out of the, I think I'm going to do three today, two out of the three that you can use as supplements to take care of your, or to support your healthy body functions. The next one, I was going in the wrong direction. I just realized it, is probably right next to oat straw. This is probably my favorite, and it's sage. Sage is one of my favorite herbs. If you all like herb talk, by the way, especially related to fibromyalgia, let me know. I can do more videos with specific herbal blends that I like to use that, you can try and see if you enjoy them. These are not, they are herbal medicine, but they're not medicine. So if you are someone who's suffering from really bad pain, herbs may not be the easiest way to solve your pain or to resolve your pain, but it might be a good supplement on your path. So just something to think about. Anyway, sage, which is Salvia officinalis, which I should have told you all the medical name, or not medical, the scientific names, not really necessary though. Sage, antibacterial, antioxidant, aromatic, and it has a wonderful smell. Nervine, emmenagogue, and astringent. Astringent is the one that I was thinking. I've said tonic. Astringent is the one that I was thinking of that really does great actions on the liver. So anyway, Sage does all of these things: antibacterial, antioxidant, all the things. Um, but I love sage because it's so accessible. It's an herb. It's something that you can get in your grocery store that you don't have to grow. You know, passionflower and oatstraw, you have to order those from somewhere if you can't find them in your local store. Sage is used to flavor food. You can find it on any spice aisle. I advise, if you want to start using sage, go to a store that has of course, you know, a grocery store is fine, but I would recommend like an international grocer, which tends to have more reasonably priced common herbs, more reasonably priced than your regular grocery stores. But if you got to use your regular grocery store, that's fine, and consider growing it during the warmer months because, you know, you if you like it, you'll probably want to use it again and again, and it will probably be more reasonably priced over the long term if you grow some yourself. So it mentions here that it's traditionally used for cold and flu. Makes sense if it's antibacterial. So not that, you know, flu or cold are necessarily bacteria related. Those are usually viral. But just the same, it makes a great gargle because it is a germ fighter with the antibacterial portion of it. And it also mentions that it is sometimes in certain dishes used heavy handedly, but it says it can combat also external odor, dark and gray hair. It's just got a lot of good things going on. So, you know, people can tend to use it too much in dishes, but in a tea, it's fabulous. And I drink sage tea during the cooler months for sure, because, of course, like it says, it's great for fighting cold and flu, great for keeping you healthy, but also it's easy to find and it's a Nervine on top of that. So if I could get my nose to stop itching, that would be fabulous. So anyway, so that is probably my next favorite, right next to oat straw, is definitely sage. And then I'll give you one more because why not? Why not? Let me find one that I've definitely, excuse me, used, which I've used all that I've mentioned so far. I've used them. But the next one, they've got motherwort. I've not used motherwort yet. Um, lemongrass and lemon balm I've used, but not enough where I feel comfortable saying yes, try. Oh, I know one. Why didn't I think of this? Chamomile. Chamomile is great. I'm turning to the page for it now. It's a nervine, it's a carminative, it's a bitter, it's a sedative, it's anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic, and it's an emmenagogue, which is a word I mentioned previously. Emmenagogue is it helps stimulate and normalize menstrual flow. I couldn't remember what that word meant, but there are a lot of terms in here that even though I've read through this multiple times, I haven't memorized all of them. A bitter helps with digestion. Of course, sedative puts you to sleep. Anti-inflammatory does just what it sounds like, works against inflammation. Antispasmodic, mentioned previously, works on muscle cramping and that kind of thing. Carminative, I think that has to do with blood, but I can't remember. Oh, no. Carminative gets gas out of the gastrointestinal tract. So those are the benefits of chamomile. I like chamomile too because it is very gentle. I like that you can pair chamomile tea with dried apple, and it's because it has a kind of apple-like flavor. It's a really gentle herb. It's so gentle that you can give it to children in many cases. It has a nice flavor. It is herbal, so it's not going to give you a boost of energy like a caffeinated tea would because it has no caffeine. It mentions here that chamomile is a great addition to any tea. So, yes, you can add it into a tea for flavor and benefits of soothing both the nervous and digestive systems. If you suffer from or experience fibromyalgia issues, what you may notice is that you do not just experience problems with your nervous system, you tend to feel it in other body systems as well, including digestive system. I know personally, I tend to get knots in my stomach very often or feel nauseous. So it's either the anxiety feeling of nervousness or just nausea from being like motion sick. So that's something that only started happening with fibro. Before, I had no motion sickness, but this is something that's come as a symptom. So something like chamomile can be very good. You think about apple, you think about things like cinnamon. So you could absolutely do chamomile, cinnamon, and apple tea, and it would be really harmonious together. Cinnamon is just really good for helping with nausea, just like ginger. You could put ginger with chamomile as well. Ginger tends to be a little bit more stimulating, but not enough to like give you an energetic boost if you're putting it into the chamomile. It's not going to behave like caffeine just because it's a little bit energizing or a little bit stimulating. But there are many different things that you can combine together to give yourself some relief if you wanted to do herbal teas or herbal blends to support you with your fibro journey. So the herbs I mentioned, oatstraw, passionflower, sage, and chamomile, all very reasonably priced, nothing that's rare or particularly hard to find, but the easiest to find of the four, definitely sage at any grocery store and chamomile on the tea aisle of any grocery store. You can find both and you can start using those immediately. Sage, I love sage, but if you want something mild, just to get a feel for it, I would recommend chamomile first before progressing to something a little more aggressive in flavor and in action like sage, because sage can be quite aggressive, um, especially if you don't know how to steep it properly. It's an herbal tea. Most people think, oh, it's herbal tea, just let the hot water stay over it for however long you want, at least 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe not with sage, depending on your flavor preferences. Sage can get very, very heavy handed, like it says in the book. It can be an overwhelming flavor. So, anyway, this has been rambly, but fun, hopefully, for you all to give you some ideas of what you can start doing with your herbs. And I hope that you consider supplementing your current routine with natural things, not because it's necessarily better for you, but because anything that you can stitch together to give yourself relief is worth trying. Always consult with your doctor, see how it goes. And I wish you all the calmest, quietest, most peaceful weekend and next few weeks ever. I'll be back next week, of course, but I hope that this season continues to be very, very kind to you and that you will be kind to yourself as well. And think about considering some plant allies to support you during this season. So that's it for today. Please take care, and I will talk to you all on Monday. Bye-bye.